I'm pleased to be joined by UCLA head coach Chip Kelly. Coach, how you doing?
I'm great. We're at Pac-12 Media Day and just getting rolling, so it's a good day. It means you're closer to football starting.
Yes, it does. And we're close to getting to see your offense roll again. I'm having to talk to kids now, recruits, right? It's part of my job. And one of the things I have to remind them is Oregon was a force when I was in college, right? And yet they're like, but because Chip Kelly groomed some some quarterbacks, I'm going, what are you talking about, right? I'm having to argue with them, but they've also brought to my attention, you haven't had a quarterback derby since basically 2012 with DTR being your starting guy for 48 straight games. How excited are you to have a bona fide quarterback derby in preseason camp?
I think I kind of liked it the other way when you knew exactly who you had because he was a great one. But we do have a bunch of talented kids. They were great in the spring. Colin Schley is a transfer from Kent State. Ethan Garbers has played for us in the last couple of years and has come really along. Dante Moore is a high school recruit out of Detroit that enrolled early and did a really nice job. And Justin Martin is a local kid that's in a redshirt freshman. And so all of those guys, I thought, really stepped their game up. The great part of a quarterback derby is that competition brings the best out of everybody. And I think all of those guys got better through spring practice.
So UCLA going into last year, the Pac-12, but I'm more curious about how you found out that UCLA was going to the Big Ten, because the story I heard is that you and head coach Ryan Day at Ohio State found out that you were both going to be in the same conference at a golf tournament?
Yeah, that's 100% true. We were back home. We're both from New Hampshire. I got a call. And my phone was in my bag, didn't really pay attention. And then I had missed two calls from our athletic director, a text message from the athletic director, and two calls from the associate athletic director and a text message from him. So I thought something had happened. And then they called and said in 2 hours there's going to be a vote that you're going to go into we're going to go into the Big Ten, but you can't tell anybody. And I said, all right, when Ryan Day is in the cart behind me. So I'm a loyal soldier. I didn't say anything. And we got up to, I think they caught us around hole 16, and he just kind of looked at me, and I'm sure he was hearing it from his side. And I looked at him, and I didn't say anything. And we got to the clubhouse, and it was announced, and he just smiled, and I laughed. And my first initial response was like, oh my God, we're going to the Big Ten. And then when I asked our athletic director when, he said 2 years. I was like, don't worry about it. Well, give me the details later, because 2 years is a long time. So we still have one more season in the Pac-12 this year, and that's what our focus is on. But that is a 100% true story. We were together when that news broke.
It also raised to me just how long you and Coach Day have known each other and been friends, quite frankly. He played quarterback for you at the University of New Hampshire. He's been on your staff before. I love the what if he went with you to Oregon in 2007. If anything, how excited are you to have that be basically a normal part of your college football calendar in the future, getting to play against Ryan Day's Buckeyes?
I don't know if we're excited about playing against each other. We were together last weekend, and we're both hyper competitive. We'd like to beat other people. I don't think we like to beat each other. So, and we've never faced each other before. But they're obviously the lead dog in that conference, and a team that obviously that everybody in the country is focused on because of how successful they are every single year. So we'll have our work cut out for us when we play them. But again, that's a little bit of ways away. We're going to focus and concentrate on 23 here and see what we can do this season.
One of the things that got my attention is your hire of Anton Lynn, who's 33, right? And then we're at a time when it's cool to hire guys my age to be your defensive coordinator, your offensive coordinator. What brought you to hiring him?
It's unique. He's got a unique journey in the game of football. Was a really good player at Penn State. Played for the Jets for a year. And then immediately after his 1 year in the league, he started in the league. And so he's 33 years old with 12 years of NFL experience. And I think that's what kind of set him apart from everybody else that we interviewed. He's sharp, comes from a football family. His dad was a former head coach in the NFL, Anthony Lynn, who I get great respect for. And then there's a maturity to Danton that if you met him and someone told you his age afterwards, you'd be like, no way. That there's a maturity and there's a wisdom in him that was really impressive and came across very well to our players. So we're really excited. We battled both offense against defense during the spring, and I'm excited about Danton's first season with us this fall.
I'm curious if you let Carson Steele bring his pet gator to practice.
The good thing about Carson is that he left his pet alligator, Crocky J, back in Indiana with his family. It stays at his house. He actually didn't even bring it to Ball State. He left it at his home. So I was curious. It's a great story, but then I was actually nervous when he committed. Like, is he going to bring that thing with him? And then where would we house him in Westwood? Because I don't think there is an alligator policy in Westwood, Los Angeles. So, but we did not have to even broach that because he left it back in Indiana.
My last one for you, Coach. You've been creeping up on 10 wins since you got to UCLA, 8 in 2021, 9 in 2022. How difficult is it to get to 10 wins at UCLA?
Yeah, that's the challenge, and we're excited. But hopefully we have really smart kids at our school, so they know that it goes 8, 9, 10. So if we can just count, hopefully this is the year we break through that barrier.
UCLA head coach Chip Kelly, thank you for taking time to join us here on the #1 college football show.
Thanks, RJ.
I'm pleased to be joined by Oregon head coach Dan Lanning. Coach, how you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
I got to say, Coach, the way that your program responded in 2022 to finish with 10 wins was really remarkable, especially given the way it started. What were the things that you were preaching en route to an 8-game winning streak, I might add, to get your program back to, hey, no, we're good. We're good. We're fine. We're a good football team?
Yeah, we never really concerned ourselves with the opinions of others, right? We always looked internally to where we could be better, and our guys really accepted that approach.
And in accepting that approach, you also got a lot out of Bo Nix, more than I think we've ever seen him give in any particular season. What do you think was going right for your quarterback?
Well, I think Bo just showed the world what he's capable of. We always knew the talent that Bo had. He needed people around him that trusted his ability, and it was fun to see him excel in this offense. Obviously, he's truly become a great leader for our team, and he's an exceptional player.
After having the remarkable season that you had, getting to lift that Holiday Bowl trophy, you also had to deal with what happens when you are a good football coach and you got a good football program. People hire your coordinators to be head coaches. So you go out and you get a guy in Willie Stein who knows how to do this. But I'm curious, what led you to hiring a 33-year-old offense coordinator from UTSA?
Yeah, ultimately, you want to go find the best and the brightest, right? And I think it's always a challenge for you as a coach when there's transition. One, you want that in your program. You want to create opportunities for guys on your staff. If they want the chance to become head coaches, you want to create that. And we're fortunate enough to be in a place that we can do that. But Will really shared a lot of the same philosophical values that I had. We had some connections of guys that he had coached with that I had coached with as well. And been around, and just being able to, the more we had conversations, the more I recognized it was a really good fit.
You're a defensive guy, and I say that as a lead into this might be the deepest quarterback conference in the sport this year. What's it like to prepare each and every week knowing that the guy that is throwing the ball across from you and can sling it?
Yeah, it's a unique challenge, and it is. It's the deepest quarterback class for sure. I mean, I think this league presents a unique challenge, and every week you're going to have to go against a guy that can play ball. And it always starts with the quarterback. That's the first thing you always assess when you're watching the opponent. And for us, we're lucky enough to get to go against some great ones.
It's always something in this conference, too. Last year, it was Lincoln Riley joining USC along with you and seeing how you guys would hold up. And now we know exactly what that looks like. Both of you guys had double-digit win seasons. This year, Coach Prime in Colorado entered the picture. If anything, what do you think this says about the Pac-12?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement around our conference right now. Obviously, we had several 10-win teams, several teams that are capable, and it only makes our conference better.
And in making your conference better, are you looking around and going, goodness me, do we have something working here that gets us back to winning these Pac-12 championships that folks got so excited about us winning not just 5 years ago?
Yeah, when you start, taking a deep dive into our program, I think you see the pieces in place. But you don't want the easy route; you want the hard route, and it's fun to be in a place where there's a challenge to create that.
I'm curious what you're doing to try to stay grounded as head coach at Oregon, knowing this is going into year 2 for you, but you've already been successful.
Yeah, I didn't come here for 1 year to have success for 1 year. For me, there's long-term goals. This is a place that's done so much for college football when I talk about Oregon, but we have a lot more to accomplish here, and I certainly have some long-term goals to accomplish here. And I'm in a great place to be able to do that. So it's exciting to know that you have great vision, alignment with the university, and the players capable of competing for championships.
Is there something you can pinpoint other than winning more games to get into the Pac-12 championship game that you didn't do last year?
Yeah, we had some tight battles down the stretch that we've got to perform better and we got to finish out. But ultimately, we just finished a SWOT analysis with our team where we took a deep dive into our strengths, our weaknesses, recognizing our opportunities that exist out there and the threats to those opportunities. And I think as long as we keep our main focus on what we can do to get better, the process of that, then I think the results take care of themselves.
Can you tell me just one of those strengths that you identified with your 2023 team?
I'm not giving you the answers to the test, man. No, quarterback. We've got a guy that can compete, and when you have a quarterback, you have a chance. But I feel like we're a deeper team than we were last year. We're a more connected team than we were last year. Last year you're trying to figure out what you have, and now I think we have a really good grasp of what we had, and we've added some really key ingredients as well. I mean, we have 45 new scholarship players on our team this year, which is unique. But to complement that with what we already have here, I think that provides some unique opportunities.
I will second that. You have one hell of a good quarterback, and I wish you and him good luck this season. Oregon head coach Dan Lanning, thank you so much for joining us here on the #1 college football show.
Thank you. Have a great one.
I'm pleased to be joined by Oregon quarterback Bo Nix. Bo, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I want to start things off talking about something that has nothing to do with football. How does it feel to celebrate your 1-year wedding anniversary?
It's unbelievable. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I'm blessed to have a wife that's so loving, and she's just a precious gift, and I love her a lot. And my life really changed when I got to know her, when I was able to be around her for the first time, and then obviously we've been together for a few years now. Been married for 1 year, and it really flies by. So. But it's been great. It was a special year.
I realize your last name is Nix, but Smoke was right there. I mean, all you got to do is take her maiden name. Izzy Smoke, Bo Smoke. You have a little smoke. You know what I'm saying? Who wants the smoke? No, it's right there. But since we're here, Stevie Nicks is also over there, and that one goes both ways. I'm just, out here giving you name choices.
Yeah, her last name was really awesome. It was really cool. I hadn't really heard it until I met her. But maybe we can use that for one of our kids' middle names or even their first name, maybe.
Yeah, man, there's a college football player running around named Smoke Monday. I mean, it happens. It's out there.
I was teammates with Smoke Monday at Auburn.
That's right, at Auburn. Yeah. See? Yeah. See? You're already there. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what little Nix looks like and what their name is.
Me too.
All right, football. What was your first clue that you were going to have a great season last year? Because frankly, it didn't start out great.
No doubt. To be honest, I knew we had a chance when I got here last offseason. We had a lot of, great talent around me. Had a really veteran and really solid O-line. They had played a lot of games together. They were very familiar with offense and terminology and pass protection and all that kind of stuff, and then we were able to run the ball really well as the season went on. But, I knew we had the talent, and I just wanted to see how it was all going to shake out. And, with Georgia, it didn't start how we planned. It started, on the wrong foot, but immediately after that, we started turning it around, and we started playing really good football. And as a collective group, we were one of the more explosive offenses in the country. Credits to our coaches and, just how we went about the game and how we fought and we prepared, and we were very consistent, and we just had a good year.
It felt like Coach Dillingham had a lot to do with your improvement in 2022. Now you have a new offensive coordinator in Coach Stein. What's different about your relationship with him, and what is he trying to help you further develop?
Yeah, with Coach Dillingham, he really he let me play free. He gave me a lot of freedom. I was able to check some things and change some plays. With his consent, he allowed me. He prepared me and he allowed me to do those things within the confines of our system. And I think that's one thing that really helped me. I could see it and then get us in the right play and ultimately get us out of some jams if that case ever presented itself. And he was all for that. If he was like, look, if it's a bad look, protect me, change it, check it, whatever you got to do, just get us out of it. And Coach Stein's very similar. He comes from a similar system. He's going to give me a lot of freedom. He wants me to play free, play fast, and just go out there and cut it loose.
One of the strengths of the Pac-12 this season is the quarterback play, and you are a very big part of that coming off that 2022 season we talked about. But if anything, what are you still trying to show the NFL in this year's final season of college football?
Well, just to build on what I did last year, continue to make throws from the pocket, continue to make tough plays, continue to get us in the right play and get guys situated to where we're going to be at a good advantage for our offensive play versus the defense. And if I continue to do those things, I just feel confident that not only are we going to have some success offensively, our team's going to be really good, and then obviously the future will hopefully take care of itself. But right now I'm just worried about what I can do for my team, how I can get us 1-0 on the weekend when we play games.
So you're from the South, and I say that as a dude that spent his childhood in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So I got to ask, what was your first clue that Eugene is not Auburn?
The restaurants are a lot different. There's no, I guess Southern guys like, fried chicken fingers and all the sides and all the fast food places and the Chick-fil-A's. And, there's so many things that in the South that not necessarily has made it out West, but at the same time, there's a lot of different culture and different food out West of the Pacific Northwest. And, I've been able to try some of those and they've been really good. But yeah, the food I would just say is different. The restaurants are different. The style's a little different, but people are great. The landscape's great and the football's awesome.
Man, look, football's awesome. We agree on that, but you tell me Chick-fil-A and Waffle House ain't near. I'm having a hard time with that, right? That's going to get into my soul just a little bit. You know what I mean? And do they have? Right. No. You know what? We'll get off the food. We'll stay on football because I could be giving you culinary advice about being in Eugene, and we could be talking about the differences and whatnot. But going into this 2023 season, one of the real, overarching themes is USC and UCLA leaving to join the Big Ten in 2024. Now, I know you're not going to be a part of this transition when the Pac-12 is looking to, solidify its place as a Power 5 conference. But what do you think the strength of this league is, having played in it at a high level?
Well, yeah, just looking at this year and after playing last year, the quarterback position is, at an all-time high in the conference. We have some really good throwers, some really good athletes back there in the backfield, just really good players overall, really good quarterbacks. That spreads throughout the teams because with great quarterbacks, you got great O-linemen, great receivers, great depth around them. And then you got to be able to stop them so defenses, rise to the occasion and defenses perform at a high level. So overall, the Pac-12 has, really good talent, great talent across the board, every position, some really good depth for a lot of teams. It just makes the conference tough. Playing 9 straight Pac-12 opponents at the end of the season is not easy, especially when each one can beat the other. But you just got to go in each week mentally focused, prepared physically, and go out there and perform at a high level. Obviously, in the future, it's out of my control, whatever happens. But for this year, we know the Pac-12 is going to be very tough.
Bo Nix, thank you for joining us here on the #1 college football show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Go Ducks.
Thank you for watching the #1 college football show. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video so that you don't miss any of the best college football coverage in America.